And we're on.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it. So everyone, sorry James couldn't be here today. James is unwell, but we have Priscilla on today. She's been on before.
Yeah.
She's one of our original ones from a few years back. But it's good to have you on.
Thanks. It's good to be back.
I'm doing an applause real quick.
I love applause.
Yeah, so it's been a while. And it's been 2 years, year and a half.
Yeah. 2 years.
Lots,
2 years.
Yep. Lots been happening.
A lot's happened in 2 years. As it should.
Yeah. I mean, last time we spoke, I think you went overseas. You went? Yeah.
I went to the States.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to be there for like a month, and I ended up living there, moving there. I got called. Well, I got stuck. The borders in Australia closed, and my ticket got cancelled after I extended the first time. And then my ticket got cancelled, and I was like, shit. I have to find somewhere to live more permanently in LA and live my life. And I don't know, I fell in love with it.
With LA?
Yeah, like in a hard way. But eventually I was like, okay, you know when I don't know, one thing just keeps you someplace and then another and another, and then you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be here for my growth, for my soul's journey. And that's and then I came back here for a job. That's what I'm doing here in Australia right now.
If people don't know, Priscilla is a wonderful actor. Grew up in Sydney.
I grew up in Sydney and Lebanon.
You were born in Lebanon.
I was born here, but we moved back when I was a baby.
Yeah.
And then we moved back to Australia when I was 13. So on April Fool's Day, we moved back.
Yeah.
And that was 3 days ago?
Yeah.
And we've been here for 19 years.
19 years.
That's a lot of years.
Yeah.
I can't really,
So it's, talk about age.
Oh, no.
Talk about age. I was at work the other day.
Yeah, let's talk
I
about
was
age.
at work the other day because I work at a school. I do support needs teacher.
Nice.
So kids with like learning disabilities and challenges and whatnot. So I helped them out. So we had cross country, and I said we were having a chat, and I said, Jesus, I haven't been to a cross country in like 20 years. And I said 20 years, and it's legit been 20 years.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You were exaggerating, and then you're like, it's been
Holy
20.
shit, no, it's been that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't believe I'm saying those times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I can't even address the topic of age. I mean, it's fine. I'm happy to be where I'm at. I don't want to go back in time. God knows. But I don't know, like in 10 years, we're going to be like, that was 30 years ago. I'm never going to accept these conversations.
So since you've been in Australia, it's been heavenly bliss since you've been here,
Heavenly
right?
bliss?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
It's been wonderful, right? It's a wonderful ride in Australia.
Yeah. It's good to be here working, being with family. It's a great project I'm working on, and that is gratifying. Good people, good creatives, good collaboration, and you like kind of feel that from the beginning.
How good is it to have good creatives on set or stage or whatever, wherever you work, and like people who are just like wonderful to work with and just like and get along? Yeah,
it changes everything. I think we assume that that's what people are going to be like anywhere we go when we move through life, and then you realize that when you feel a certain dissonance in your heart, like an instinct saying, why does this feel good? And then you go through it and you're like, oh no, no one wants to be here from these people. It's not their calling, it's not their path. And then in one moment you find a place where everyone wants to be in that place, creating together. It's so nice. I mean, you take certain jobs for certain reasons, and this one I took for that. I was like, this is going to be good for my creative longevity to like do good work with good people.
Mm-hmm. And like, because you were in LA, how tough is it to, like, as an Australian, to go there, find a place to live, just somewhat settle down? Like, not settling down, but like finding your way around.
I mean, I hear two different kinds of stories. It was really easy or it was really hard. And I think that's whether you're fighting it or you're flowing with it. If you're not supposed to be in LA, if it's not the place for you, don't go. Just because it's the industry. Maybe there's a version of the industry everywhere in the world. Maybe it's Berlin, maybe it's Spain, maybe it's Australia, maybe it's Lebanon. I don't know, and maybe it's LA, because a lot of the things that happen in LA aren't for that person. I just found like it was easy for me because I got lucky. And I think that stems from I was there at the right time when I was ready. If I'd gone in my early 20s, I don't think that would have happened. I think I would have fallen into the wrong path. There's so much vapidness in LA. There's so much superficiality to the whole city. It's like it's quite there's a big section of it that's very clout chasing, and in order to succeed, you think you have to follow the clout, but people don't actually help in that way. I was lucky because I found a soulful community of people that were my base, and that's that just happened to make me feel at ease in times of utter chaos. When I felt super lonely, when I saw all the vapidness, when I saw the superficial elements to it, and when I was almost drawn in to go, is this what I'm here doing? My community would be there, and I'd cry to my friend, and I'd come back to myself again. A big creative Arab community I found, and my God, like it's wonderful to feel a place of home everywhere in the world, because there's such a huge diaspora of immigrants trying to do the same thing and connect. So I didn't actually try to hunt so much for an acting lifestyle there as much as I was like, I'm here for the people that are going to surround me. And it was still really hard when I even left, but I knew what I wanted there. And it's nice because it's like got mountainous ranges, like the canyons.
Yeah.
So you like drive into bush and come back to sea. And of course there's so much pollution. It's not as safe as here, but that kind of lack of safety gives me drive.
What's not so safe?
Well, conventionally safe. It's not, you know, like there's a lot of crime and poverty and classism.
Is there a big difference? Have you been to New York?
I went for a week for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the cultural differences?
I'd say it's like Sydney and Melbourne, you know.
Yeah.
LA is Sydney, Melbourne's New York. I think, geographically, New York is like, moves in a circular motion. I mean, I lived in London. It reminds me of that. Like it's like kind of like the city goes, wherever the train is going, wrapping itself around, you're kind of moving in that way. Whereas, in coastal cities, the like kind of energy moves to the ocean and back from the ocean. New York really like threw me off in a way that if I lived there, I think I'd be like, and I think that life is behind me now. I can't. It's too fast.
Do you find that when you come back to Sydney, it's like, it's nice and slow?
Yeah, it's so slow.
Because I find Sydney really fast.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit, man. I think in the same way, like, you found maybe a solace. You said you like living near nature. And I think I've decided to do the same thing in LA because it's so big and fast. There are pockets where you can kind of escape. Like, where do you find is slow if Sydney's fast? You mean the city?
I find living in Sydney is fast because I feel my days just go fast. Like just go. Like if I'm not on top of it, like I don't get things scheduled out like beginning of the week, and I know the things I want to do, then I'm stuffed. Like I can only do a certain amount of things in a day in Sydney, as opposed to like where I'm from Canberra. So in Canberra, I can get away being a little bit more like liberal in my time management. And here I can't. I have to be like, gotta get this done, gotta get this done, gotta get this done. And to be honest,
Deadlines, you mean?
sorry,
Deadlines?
deadlines, or like I need to get some work. I need to go here, go there. In places like camp, I went to Gold Coast a few weekends ago. Even that was great. Like people were smiling, walking around, whatever, and there's, I can see that their days are wonderful. Here days are not as wonderful. Like maybe you get one day in a week where it's nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people out there who have fantastic days in Sydney. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But,
no, I hear you though. I think when I got back here, I realized how like everyone dodges eye contact. Everyone's quick to go. There's like, I think that's a lot of like unhealed land trauma, and that circulates in the energy that we live in Sydney. I think that there's a lot of like disconnection. You're absolutely right. When I first got here, I spun out. I was like, no one makes eye contact. Everyone's a bit mean, just a bit. Just enough to go, I'm protecting myself. And you're like, oh shit. This is why I kind of appreciate LA, is because everyone's like, and it could go to further lengths that's just like insane. And there's like pendulum swings too far sometimes there. But it is like checking, like everyone's like kind of connected with themselves. Maybe it's a luxury, but I hear you. Sydney's a bit like this.
Yeah. Everyone's into themselves sort of thing. I need to get there, and I guess you're in my way.
Yeah. You're in my way. You're not,
in my way,
and it's not in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to reconcile with that. Create anything around that.
But I think that's all like goes into like a lot of the creative pathways as well. Like people are just like, oh, I need to write quickly. I need to get this out, get it out. And like, I think there is a thing about like taking your time in writing a play or writing whatever you got to write, or music or whatever. There is something in like just relaxing into about the moment. I feel like in our community, creative community, like we are so pushed by the deadlines and pushed by okay, there's funding. Deadline is in 2 weeks, so we better get the applications in, yada yada. But then we all end up producing not the best work at times. I don't know, like some creatives do need a deadline as well. But I think that stress really goes into a lot of the creatives in the industry, like actors and writers and stuff. So I don't particularly like that part. Yeah,
I think there's two ways to create something. Well, not more, probably way more than 2 ways. But I've seen like I've seen people create something, like write a whole play and give it, and then it kind of gets the wheel churning, and then they just disconnect. And then there are some people who need to figure who they are first, what that voice is saying, where it's coming from, and the circle of that, the birthing life cycle of that project takes much longer. I mean, projects like that change the world, and then there are ones that keep the world going. So I think there's space for both of them. I think for me, if I ever was to create something, it might take a lot longer, because like even with acting for me, as I grow to understand myself and, love myself and heal myself, I become a better actor. And I think, some people's projects are a reflection of where they are in their growth, in their life, in their life's purpose. And there's people just churn them out, and I have so much respect for that too, because they actually push the needle forward. They move the narrative forward. They get maybe the product isn't as
in depth.
Yeah, but it like has its place in the world, right?
Sure. Yeah.
It depends. Like we can be talking about shit projects or like not, you know.
Mm.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I think there's a place for both of them. I think the trick is to find who you are within that. I always knew, like, for me, that my career would, like, you know, be like simmering, like a slow cooked. I don't know.
Slow cooked.
Slow cooked.
I don't know. I was gonna say you can't really slow cook a kibbeh, or you
Can't slow cook could be drown it in oil, put it in the oven, take it to someone who has a pizza oven.
Actually, matnoush.
Yeah.
Matnoush.
No, I think like a stew, a slow cooked stew that you just like, and then eventually it'll taste good.
I'm trying to think of the Lebanese bean stew.
Yeah, that one. That one. I'm fasulia. Yeah. The bean stew.
Yeah.
Maybe with some meat in it. Because I stopped being vegetarian.
You're not vegetarian anymore?
No.
Lovely. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
You know, like you finished off a show in Belvoir 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And what was that show again?
The Cherry Orchard.
Cherry Orchard? No, you did two. At Belvoir. You did Orchard and you did some... Did you do some...
No, that was it. Cherry Orchard at Belvoir. That was 2021.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
I was Petya Trofimov, a dude. Traditionally a dude. I was playing myself.
So can we stop on that real quick? So, because like Tash, my partner, gets a similar sort of, like, she's played a dude, and the question always arises, like, to a director, how do you want me to play this, as a man or a female or whatever? You know?
Therein lies a lot of history of where women stand in the world.
Yeah.
Fuck, no. Petya Trofimov was written as an intellectual idealist that was going to change the world. And he's got a love interest, and I forget her name. I'm bad with being on the spot with names. But how you translate that into what a woman would say. And like, I don't know, it's hard. It was a very interesting a character to play because I had to be more selfish than I would normally be. And that took me a while to wrap my head around. Like some dude who's like completely wrapped in his ideas, their ideas, her ideas now, you know, about change. I guess it was, I think in order, when you do change genders, when you redefine them, I think a lot of rewrites could be useful in that.
Yeah.
Which Eamon did, Eamon Flack, director. But I think it would be very interesting if that was its own project. Change
the gender?
Well, changing the reason behind the push of this person changing things, because historically we're talking about, you know, if it's in 2023 and this character is either a non-binary, and not a cis white man, not a cis man. I mean Russian, but let's say they're and so like, where does this character come from? It's from a more senses of oppression than casual liberty of a man walking the world as though there's no there's freedom helping them. They feel safe in the world. I don't think that someone who looks like me can walk around with that much freedom without feeling scared underneath all of that. And so that informs then the decision of all of their choices. And in turn, you know, it becomes more emotional, more direct, less abstract and hopeful, more, you know, we need to change. More like feminist, really.
Yeah.
More angry because of the oppression. And no one's said sorry yet. So, you know, you're like, there's still that kind of pain
Right.
informing all of these choices. So that's what I struggled with, I think, in playing that character. So there was a lot of pain underneath what I imagine this character going through. To say these things, to not be accepted. Petya Trofimov wasn't accepted by the woman who, he admired when he was younger, but as a queer woman playing this character, it's laced with a lot more pain.
Yeah. And because like that's one of the things like we all have a conversation about is that like when they change the gender of the characters, which is okay. I don't mind. Sometimes it works out great, but in a technical aspect, when you speak to the director about hey, and the director goes, you could play this as a man or you could play it as a female, like it's. I mean, you just played. I mean, for me as an actor, if I was to get something like that, I always read it. Like, how do you play as a man? How do you play as a female? Like, what's like the script gives you all the tips and advices that you need to play the character, and you play it as it says on the script. How do you change it as an actor, like technically, like, you know?
I mean, well, it was definitely rewritten. Like it was an adaptation.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, yeah.
So, and if it wasn't, then fuck, I don't know. Give it a go. See what happens.
Yeah.
You might discover something. It would just seem different. It might seem interesting. It might seem interesting, very interesting. You like all you have to do is change one person within the whole play, and the whole play will change meaning. And why not?
Why not?
Right?
Yeah. I get it.
I'm not a stickler for the rules. If I was, I don't know where I'd be.
Yeah.
If I was like, let's keep things as traditional as possible, I wouldn't have a job. I have to be progressive in order to
you have to do exactly what people want us to do.
Yeah, if I have to advocate for someone who looks like me to be on screen for longer than 3 minutes, 2, then I have to be like, there's a reason why we need to change things.
That's funny you said that, because it reminds me of a thing that you said on our last podcast, and I said to you, because we met accidentally a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, at the opening screening of Love Me for Binge. And I said to you that one of the things that stuck in my head when you used in our last interview was that it's all well and good to have people in front of the camera or on stage that looks like us, and diversity and whatnot. But I think it's not going to change until we have people behind it or writers changing.
Oh man!
And
I see it now. Like I'm working on a project where there's a lot of Middle Eastern people behind the camera. It's beautiful because you don't feel gaslit. Honestly, the bottom line is someone doesn't understand the experience. There's microaggressions that are going to happen whether they mean to or not. And this, like I'm being myself on screen and there's people being themselves off screen, and there's a understanding between the two. And you create more harmonious work. And it's beautiful to see that. It's beautiful. I don't know what I don't know what the future will look like, but I think there's a place for everybody considering what I'm doing right now. And yeah, I'm seeing people behind the screen on this project that are informing and non-Middle Easterns too, but they're working in harmony. There's an equilibrium. It's not one person, everyone depends on them and they're overworked and suddenly they're a consultant /this/that.
Yeah, consultants.
And then suddenly the actor is the consultant, the cultural consultant. Suddenly one extra is the cultural consultant on the whole project, and it rides on them to decide everything. That still happens too. That happened in America, but and I've got people who tell me those. I've had people tell me those stories.
I accidentally became a consultant on set once.
Bet.
Yeah, my first ever gig as an actor, and we're doing a shot, and it was a It was for a Australian TV show, and there were some words in Urdu, and they got me and a few other actors to say the lines or whatever, and we were having a conversation, and the guy who was playing the character, his Urdu wasn't great because he was Fijian Indian, and they don't typically speak Urdu, and I'm Indian, but what he was saying didn't make sense, because I asked the doctor, I said, and I didn't really, I also knew to be an actor, I didn't know there's like cameras and microphones fucking everywhere, so I accidentally said it to the actor. I don't think that makes sense. And then the director bolted down, and I was like, "Oh shit!" My first thing, I'm gonna be fired. He walked up and he said, "What do you mean? What does it make sense?" He goes, "Oh, it just doesn't sound because in a lot of different cultures, like this past tense is also how you speak to an elderly person and how you speak to a person who are just friends, and the way you say it, that part didn't make sense. So it was great. I was a consultant for a minute.
I love how the director just was like, "Oh wait,
what
do you mean? We're screwed."
I thought we did all the work, and
yeah, because having one chat with someone they have to be on set too. Things change. Hire them, give them a job. They can do the job too. But look, I think things are changing.
Yeah,
and it's good that people. I mean, it takes a lot. I commend Osama Sami, who created this project that I'm working on. Because he's basically championed a lot of new jobs for people.
Definitely has. I've seen him do so many things. He just got back from America.
Sundance.
Yeah, Sundance. Yeah,
It's an Iranian film.
Yeah. With
Iranian Australian.
I think Mojan was on that as well.
Yeah. It's amazing. He's amazing I look around and I see what he created for everyone, and I'm just it's inspiring. I'm grateful for it, and I hope to do the same in the future. And it's in seeing what he's doing that he does it from a place of love, and he does it from a place of his own storytelling, and it just shows. I mean, he's worked hard, and I'm sure has fought through a lot of upward streams. So I don't think it's easy, but it's worth it, and it's his path too. He was meant to do that. That's his piece in the puzzle.
Yeah, he's done well, and I've tried to get him on, but he lives in Melbourne.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'd love to have him on, have a chat with him.
I'll put a word in.
Yeah, put a word in. Don't do that.
Okay.
I'll have a chat.
Right.
I don't want to force people to come on the show.
No.
Yeah. And we were just talking before about Claude as well.
Claude.
Yeah.
Claude's killing it.
Yeah.
Claude's an incredible actor. Watching him on screen, as his friend. Just keep talking. I'll just pretend you're here. Okay. Claude's, he's amazing. He's an amazing creator as well as an actor. I think Claude, to me, when I see him, he has like these chakras like blasted open from here to here. He's got like his throat chakra, his third eye, his I don't know how to say it, and his crown. Ajna? Agna.
I don't know. Agnya?
AJNA.
AJNA.
Yeah, Agnya.
Agna.
Okay. And crown. They're just like blasted open, and he's full of like ideas, and he knows how to express them. And so when you see him act, you see that he's uninhibited, and when he's like, he tells you about this idea he has, and he's full of joy about it, and it's incredible. It's brilliant. I think expect to see a lot of stuff from Claude that is created that's going to change things too, because he's good, and he's funny, and he's smart.
He looks great on screen as well.
Yeah, man. He you're watching that show, and then he comes on, you're like, suddenly you're like, captivated.
I've never met him before, but like, is he as big as he is on like when you see him?
I guess, I don't know. To me, he's like Claude, but big.
Yeah. He looks
He looks huge, huh?
he looks huge on screen. Yeah.
I think he bulked up a lot for that
Yeah.
role.
Yeah. And he's tall, right? He's like at least 6'2", I think. He looks tall on screen.
He's 6 something, yeah. I've never thought of these things before. He played my on-screen fiance, then husband, on a show. So after we became married, I just I turned a blind eye to what a lot of people see, and now everyone's like, "He's so." I'm like, "Yeah, that's right." You know, it just became. You know, when you become best friends with someone, or you know them for a while, you just see their past, whatever people see, and you're just like,
yeah, fair enough.
Connecting, yeah. But he's definitely captivating on camera. He does a lot of good work.
I hope we see more of him as well.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and I hope we see more of you as well.
Thanks.
Yeah. What do you got on? You got anything coming up?
Aside from the project I'm working on, I did.
What is the project? Let's have a quick chat.
House of Gods ABC drama series, 6-part. It's about an Iraqi Shia family community, actually, and there's 2 families kind of. And there's I don't know how much I can say. That's the thing.
Oh, okay. Don't say anything which you can't say.
Yeah. It's about religious families, like families of faith, sheikhs and their families, and kind of what happens in there. It's a House of Gods. Great title, I think. And there's a lot of drama. Drama.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drama. I think it's gonna be good.
I auditioned for it.
You did?
I think I did.
For what?
I don't remember.
You don't remember the part?
I don't remember.
Damn.
I don't remember. But I'm sure a lot of brown people auditioned for it.
You reckon?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
I never know. Like I wish one day. I can't wait to be in a casting room, just to see what is, you know, because a lot of things you don't really think about. You think you just like you didn't get it because you suck, but really they're like, oh, they're too good looking.
Maybe.
Next,
maybe
100%.
Okay, let's go. Well, how would you audition? Let's say if you ever you're working on a project right now, right? You are writing something, aren't you?
No.
Okay. Let's say you wrote something. What are you looking for?
If let's say I'm looking for someone, I'm watching Physical right now on Apple TV with Rose Byrne, and the woman who plays another character I auditioned for. She's supposed to be Lebanese. So I watched that going, what do you have that I don't? And then I watch it and I'm like, nah, she's perfect, man. And, you know, I look at that and I go, if I was in the casting room, firstly, they gave Rose Byrne big curly hair. And I'm like, Priscilla, next. I've got big curly hair. What are we going to compete for that? Are they going to straighten it? Do they think that far ahead? You know what I mean? Like, how tall am I? I'm 5'8". And if I'm taller than her, maybe that's going to mess up the dynamic. She's supposed to be the, like, dynamo of the duo. And that's she becomes, I'm like, okay. So watching that, I was like, oh, I see. Where the decisions, like, I reckon they watched my tape for 2 seconds. They were like, nah. And I was like wondering about that for quite a bit, that audition I did, because even my agents were like, you nailed that. It was great. And so I thought about it. So we're watching it now. I'm like, oh, relax. It wasn't meant for you. So let's say I'm writing a show and I have me in mind as the lead, someone who looks like me. Everyone's trying to create a show that replicates their experience in some way. So I've got this person playing me. I'm going to hunt the shit out of her. I'm going to look for similar vibes or what I imagine myself to be. It's like, you know, could be completely unhinged. And then I've got like the side character and I imagine them in relation to me, what they're supposed to be. Hotter.
What?
Let's say I want someone who's hotter.
Than you?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
Let's say the experience is that this character, me, that I'm going to get someone to play, is feeling intimidated by this girl who was always prettier than her. And that's the narrative.
Okay.
I don't know why that's so, why are you giving me those looks? Why is that so hard?
No, I'm just thinking about it.
Someone who's just like blonde bombshell.
Yeah.
you know, gorge.
Yeah.
I'm going to look for that girl, right? So I send a brief to the casting.
Yeah.
And I know what I have in mind, man. I know what that girl looks like. I know the girl that was in high school that was prettier than me that I felt that way about. I have a picture in mind. And then they send me a bunch of people and they're all stunning, but none of them have the eyes that hurt me the way that girl did, let's say. Hypothesize. And so I find those eyes and I go, her. You know, and then these other girls are like, I did the best audition of my life. I was perfect for that role. That. And really, it's not about that, is it? It's about someone going. So you just have to be in the business long enough for someone to find you who they think you are. Or you create your own thing. Oh, God, I can't believe I'm saying that. Or you create your own thing.
I was just thinking about if I was to cast and I wrote a play, a screen, a film about you, I was thinking about how I would cast someone just then. So if I was a casting person.
Yeah. Serious voice.
It's a casting person.
Yeah.
I would be just looking at how much this person knows about being an immigrant, how much this person knows about living in two separate worlds.
You're much deeper than I am. I was like, where are those eyes?
Yeah, because for you, I don't think it's about being, because you are obviously pretty, right? You're beautiful and like I don't think it's about whatever. I don't think it's particularly about that with you.
Thank you.
And
thank you for seeing past my looks.
Not that you're that good looking. But
Yeah, I know. Like
but
7.
Yeah, and I think it's about that. I think it's about how it feels to be learning 2 different languages and trying to adapt into this world, and how much this person can study that, you know, and that's like, and I'll pick from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters about. Would you care if I didn't cast a Lebanese
to play me?
Yeah.
Come on. Give me a fucking break. Yeah, I would care. I would hunt you down and say, what the fuck are you doing, dude? And then to hear her go, someone give her a script in Arabic.
What if she just what if she had curly hair? That's it.
La. I think you'll find her. I think, oh man. I think there are places where you can go for like not that. And then there are places where you have to opt for it. Playing me, please get a Lebanese person.
Dude, I remember the first time I met you at the Opera House, and we were working, and you made me guess where you're from, and you were so pissed. Like, you were so pissed that I was asking where you're from.
Oh,
and I was like, are you Greek? Are you Spanish? Are you Italian? Are you Lebanese? You would not tell me. Because
why not?
I don't know why you didn't tell me. You had this thing about you.
Damn. I was probably just messing with you.
Yeah, you were, but you had this like, you had a.
That's like part 1 of getting to know me.
You're
not allowed. That's me going, I don't know. You have to try a lot harder than that.
Getting past the shutters and like.
Yeah, they keep shutting.
Yeah, I'm like, I was thinking about, is she thinking I'm trying to pick her up? I'm not trying to pick her up.
I didn't think that.
Okay, good.
I didn't think that.
Yeah.
That's me going, if he is offended by this, he'll just bounce. If he's not, then he's my friend.
Yeah.
It's like my testing for friendship, you know? And I can always tell when I can kind of.
I tell you what I can tell.
Do it.
I tell you what I can tell. I love it. I love when people meet other people and they're legitimately interested in where they're from. And I think it comes from, you know, this is what I don't like. This is what I like when you meet someone and go, see if I met you, right? And I say, oh, I love kebabs. Right?
Do I smell like one?
No, say like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's like me meeting you for the first time, and then say, you know, like, I don't know, already know about other foods that you guys Lebanese people eat, you know, like whatever it is, and then speaking about it and like, oh, have you had kibbeh and have you had this, that, the other, you know, and I love raw meat, you know, and whatever it is.
Yeah, that's exciting.
But
it's an exciting conversation.
Yeah, but it's not like just the stereotype. Oh, I love kebabs.
Yeah. I'd be like, oof, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And it's like every time I meet someone else and they say, someone meets me again, oh, I'm Indian. Oh, I love a good buttered chicken. You know? Fucking hell. Like, I'm sure by now we're past that.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
At least we're at a point where we can go stare blankly at them and go, nah, I'm not doing that, and walk away and not feel guilty and answer the question and then feel minimized and then suck it in. I think that's where we're at, where we can have autonomy and go, nah, nope. You're racist.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, and you're just like, I'm not going to teach you. There's better people.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe the majority of people before were saying butter chicken.
They were.
Yeah. Depends though, you know, depends who's asking.
Yeah.
Me, a friend of mine and I
went
had
to a fabulous Indian restaurant the other day.
Depends who's saying it. Honestly, I think if a white person's saying it, I think it has a lot of unnecessary connotations.
Yeah.
I think if if I'm like trying to guess where you're from because you could potentially be Middle Eastern, I could speak to you in Arabic, it's different because, you know, like I'm trying to, or if I'm trying to ask you where in India you're from, I'm like just trying to get there because I've been to India and I want to talk about some things. It depends. I don't know.
I love it if you're like, oh yeah, I do yoga at Fitness First.
Damn. I don't think I'd ever want to do yoga at Fitness First.
No. You shouldn't.
Maybe, I don't know.
You shouldn't pay for yoga. I don't know why people pay for yoga. Like
they need an instructor. I get it.
Yeah,
you need the form. You need the community. I like a class.
You know, I love
because you're gathering, and the more people that gather together.
The thing is, I see on Instagram everywhere. Like I see like people wearing next to nothing and doing yoga and stuff, and showing their bodies and stuff, which is great. Whatever if you want to do that, but I think most yogis don't practice thousands or hundreds of positions. They try to master one position for the rest of their lives.
Wow.
So as we Westerners, you know, we're like trying to like do all these different things.
Yeah.
But they're just doing one thing perfectly.
Yeah.
And
we've definitely butchered the term
we
yogi.
butchered a lot of things, dude.
Yeah.
We butchered a lot of things.
I mean, who's we though, you know?
Yeah, that's right. We're trying to find ourselves still.
Are you going to start a
yoga club?
No. I'll join it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. I would love to join it.
Okay.
If it's about mastering one technique. Man, yeah, I reckon you could do it. Start a cult.
I think I would start one for all the actors out there. Just come in and just do free acting, just yoga and stuff. But I don't know nothing about it. Like I know there's people out there who do know about it. I'm not very. And
are you interested in it?
I'm interested in the meditation aspect of it, and not necessarily the other aspect. I mean, it goes hand in hand, but I think we've lost the meditation aspect of it, and now we're going to the physical aspect
of it.
It's
a spiritual act.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of us, we go, oh, it's a physical aspect which we get more mobile or whatever it is, you know, and all of a sudden we're spiritual. We're really not, you know, and
spiritual bypass.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to come around.
I also want to talk. I put a little post up on Facebook the other day about AI and ChatGPT.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I think currently the Writers Guild in the States are about to go into protest and writer strike. I mean, because they're not getting their needs met, and they're trying to renegotiate the contracts. I know, just high level stuff. A friend of mine told me about it. And part of the terms is that they can't get ChatGPT to write a script and a writer to come finesse it to make it normal, human.
So stupid.
So so it depends. I think there's just I think I stand kind of watchful of that because we can't change what's going to happen. I mean, I understand financially, writers have to protect themselves because ChatGPT is definitely like, you say, can you write me a script about this? And it's almost perfect. And then you get a writer and then they finesse it and then you're good. And so the writers in the Writers Guild going, you can't do that. You can't get a ChatGPT script that we would finesse. We'd have to write it. So, you know, there's a fight between the AI and the humans already. I don't know that we can fight it for that long. I think we'll find a middle way of sharing resources with the AI. But I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say like where you stand to fight for something.
I always thought that.
I'm not a fighter.
Not a fighter. Yeah.
I don't know.
I always thought that art was what the soul does, you know, what our soul does, you know, and how it speaks to what our humans are at the moment, you know.
And I hope that wins in the fight.
Man, like I'll put it up the other day. I said, like, I understand a lot of people who are not creatives are doing chat GPT and all that kind of stuff and AI to get in touch with their soul or finding themselves. But a lot of creatives out there who are, you need to go through the process, I reckon. That's what art is about. You go through a process and go through challenges, and then comes the outcome, you know. And I think people are cheating that. And when you cheat that, you never grow from it, you know. And I was saying on my Facebook, I said, you know, I do various things. I do acting, I do podcasting with you, all the actors and creatives out there, and I also do a bit of martial arts, which is also an art because it's a physical form of how you can express yourself, and that's something that grounds me, and not just grounds me, but it helps me find myself. Like, think about it. Anytime anything happens in your life, whether you break up with a person, you had a bad day at work, you had an argument, you had a happy day, you know, what do you turn to? You turn to music. Okay, and you go to an exhibition for art, whatever, you look at it, and that makes you feel better. You look at this artwork, what was this person thinking at the time doing it? Watching a film that makes you feel great, whatever. You know, these are the things that moves us, you know, and it helps us to progress from all this other stuff that's happening. And to be honest, all the other stuff that's just happening doesn't mean shit. Doesn't really mean shit. Like all this, we're constantly trying to up each other in terms of jobs and this type of things. Like, it doesn't really matter. If you and I walk into a room together and look at an artwork, whatever you take from, whatever I take from, it's just gonna change us at the time. Like, maybe I had a bad day, it's gonna be good. Maybe you had a great day, and it makes you think about other things. Whatever it is, you know, that's the point of art. And
ChatGPT ain't doing that.
It ain't doing that.
No, it can't reach that spot.
It can't reach that spot. It can't.
Yeah, so I don't think we should have anything to worry about.
Okay, good.
Right?
Yeah, good.
I mean, if it all filters out, and really I think the soul will transcend all of it, then ChatGPT is just a means to an end, helping, I don't know.
I think all this stuff is important. Things that we really do need it, like in the the hospital sector we need it, you know, and whatever, you know, health. We do need these type of things to help us to, you know, like I have an auntie who has muscle dystrophy, you know, and she may need it for a lot of different things. You know, why not?
Yeah. I think we can't stop it.
Yeah.
But we can. I think like focusing on how it's taking our jobs isn't conducive either. I think maybe we can transcend past that. Hopefully, I don't know. I've been fortunate that they haven't made actor AIs yet. Well, they have, but
Have they?
I don't know. They'll do it, but I don't know. I'll still live my life until I die and survive. And find a way to live and find where God takes me and live and flow. I'm not worried. I'm worried about other things, but not that.
Well, Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. This was a deep conversation.
Yeah. Well,
As
last time
always.
was a bit more like not superficial,
Lively.
but lively.
No, this is good.
This is good.
I knew that this is where we were at 2 years later.
Good.
You know?
Good.
We're like, yeah, we're reaching a point. I think that universally our consciousness is changing, I think. We've hit the Aquarian age. Did you know that?
The what?
Aquarian age.
Please explain.
Pluto is in Aquarius, hasn't been in Aquarius since 200 years ago. The last time it was in Aquarius, the French Revolution happened, et cetera, et cetera. And now that it's in Aquarius again, a lot of things like ChatGPT and like robot nurses and stuff are emerging. And I think we just have to go transcend above, transcend above.
Transcend above.
And that's why I need you to make the yoga group so that we can all collectively sit, pray, meditate, and perfect one posture so that we can stay sane.
All right. Okay.
I'm gonna hit it back to LA in like a month. So chop.
Yeah, but you're gonna have people there who are doing yoga and stuff as well.
100%. It's the place for that. They've just taken every kind of culture. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Since you're gonna go, to yoga classes, let me tell you one thing real quick.
Yeah.
To say so you know.
Yeah.
You know how people talk about chakras?
Yeah.
I want you to say it correctly before you go.
Chakra.
Yeah, there you go.
Chakra. Say it.
I've said chakra. Chakra.
Yeah. Chakra. With a rolled R.
With a rolled R. Yeah.
Wait, what language do you speak? That's from India.
Well, so in India, there's unofficially, I think there's 122 languages there.
Damn.
Unofficially, I guess, but officially there's 22 languages, I think. And there's the national language, which is Hindi. It used to be Urdu, but then whatever. And then
Whatever, indeed.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yep. And then so my state language is Gujarati. I speak Gujarati. Gujarati. Yeah.
Where's that from?
Gujarat.
Yeah. Where's Gujarat?
It's in northwest of India. But my mum was born in Rajasthan, which is the desert.
Damn.
So I'm half Rajasthani.
Wow.
Yeah.
I went to Himachal Pradesh.
Oh, really?
And Rajasthan.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
A lot of castles there.
Well,
Palaces.
it's really stunning, dude.
So Rajasthan is really known for its art and its music. It's in depth in their culture.
Yeah.
In depth to a point where when I got engaged last year, my mum, my mum gave this colorful robe, or I'm not sure what thing, to my partner. And she explained that, I come from a very art and music sort of culture, and I wanted to give this to you.
What a flex!
Yeah, what a flex! Yeah.
Know that we are a family of art.
But this is how stupid I am. When I get married or whatever it is, I didn't want to do all this stuff, and then I realized that on that day how important it is for my mother and my culture to live.
It's important for you too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I didn't understand that, so.
Reconnecting with the roots.
Yeah.
It's so important.
It's so important. I keep forgetting about that. I'm like, it's not important. I'm trying to be progressive, whatever. Yeah, but
progress comes from embracing who we are. It's just that a lot of people shut it out. That's all. And then you have to shut out the people that shut it out. I'm all for it. So you're gonna have your wedding in India, like we talked about?
If I get paid, and if I get a feature film.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Priscilla.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks, man.
It's always lovely talking to you.
Yeah. I'm happy you came on again.
Me too.
All right, guys.
All
Thank
right,
you so much. See you in the next one. Oh, by the way, this is the last. Oh, sorry. Before we go, this is the last podcast in this, studio in my house. We'll be moving on to another one in next week. Unfortunately, man, it might be
new beginnings.
New beginnings, yeah. So we'll see.
On the full moon.
Yeah. So thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next one.